All right. We've got a special episode for you guys. This is not, I guess it could end up on like Spotify and stuff. You may find it there, but YouTube, you won't hear it everywhere. This is for the loyalists only. It's a special guest. Fourth time or just the third? I feel like we've had you on so many different things.
Guest.
I feel like sounds right. It sounds good. We'll just go with that.
Four times, four-time guest. Definitely the most reoccurring. We just talked about this guy, so we'll put his name out there more times than Xander officially. So yeah, that's a big deal. We'll get you a shirt. What we'll do is we'll get one shirt, and you and Xander will have to trade it off each time you guys come on. You have to mail it.
Kiv's up there too. Is Kiv at 4? You might be tied with Kiv at 4.
Let's give it. We'll say Connor's been on 5 then to be safe, and then you, Kiv, and Xander.
We don't want to give Ross Kivitt any kind of awards for this.
You can't give him any edge on anybody.
No.
Well, let's just see if he was. Let's see if he may not have known at the time. Or you're not in Knoxville right now, correct? You're back home.
I'm not.
Before you left, did they do some kind of like special event with a much larger podcast than ourselves? Do you know of anything? I know you train at the facility.
Not that I know. I left on Friday though, so if they did it over the weekend, I'm not. Not while I was there. No.
Okay, I heard some rumblings, and then Ross took the PR route and denied us. So I didn't know if he was. Maybe he was being honest, but it felt like maybe Tony was getting to him on the front. So I thought maybe I don't know. I wanted to check.
Not that I know of. Okay.
Of. All right. We'll give him that pass then. Well, I mean, it's good to have you on. I know. How's it? I guess start there. How's this offseason been in Knoxville?
Oh, it's been great, man. I mean, getting to go to the football games, getting to go to the tailgates, every Saturday, seeing all the boys. 4 straight home games was a grind.
Still recovering.
And, getting to see all the kids that we get on campus too, kids that are coming through, and just how bright the future is for the program too is a lot of fun, man. And seeing the football program, seeing all the people that, I get to meet down on the sidelines, some pretty big names coming to games these days, so it's definitely fun, and I've enjoyed it, up to this point. And hopefully we get at least one more game in Knoxville. That'd be really nice.
Absolutely. I can't wait for that. You keep saying, like, and I know you come here on your off season, like you've told me multiple times that like this place is home. What is it about Knoxville, like, since you've been here since, I don't know, when was that, 2018? Was that when it was?
18. I got there the summer of 18 and left in the summer of 21. Dude, I think it's just the people, the place, everything around it. My best memories are there. Everything. I feel like I grew up there. And my iPhone reminds me every day when I get in the car, even in Georgia, it's like, well, you have 2 hours and 50 minutes to get home. So it's just one of those things where, like, when I refer to home now even with my parents, they know that I'm referring to Knoxville. They know I'm referring to Tennessee. Like I don't consider, like, I consider Georgia where my parents live now, not really home to me. And just the people that I, got to grow up around up there and really become a man and really, take the next step in life. I feel like I've just done so much growing up there that I don't think I could ever discount what that place has done for me. But I really think that I'll at least, own a piece of property there for the rest of my life. Like I'll always call that place home. And I'll always come back if I'm not, if I'm not there, and hopefully I'm there for the rest of my life. But, life happens sometimes. So, we'll see what happens. But I absolutely think that I'll be there for the rest of my life at this point. And every time I come back, dude, it feels like the first time I ever stepped foot on campus. And I don't, that feeling never goes away. Every football game feels like the first one. Every baseball game, every time I walk in the weight room, I'm still in awe of what they've built around there. And it's been really cool to just see it all go up. And I take a lot of pride in just, playing such a tiny part in that, and just really understanding that, like, dude, this, and, I met some of my best friends there. And that's the place that we all go to meet up, because a lot of us are with different teams in Arizona and in Florida and, in Texas. We were just talking about Chad. Chad's all the way out there in Texas. So it's, we always come to Knoxville to meet up, and it's just a special place to me.
What's like your favorite place, obviously, besides probably the baseball facility in Neyland and in your apartment? What's the best place?
Chivo, and it's not even like really close. It's not even really close. If anybody talks bad about Chivo, I automatically don't trust it. We automatically aren't friends. It's not even like remotely close.
You
Their
steak
queso.
quesadilla?
Yep, quesadilla every time. Steak.
Yep.
No beans. Make sure we get 2 quesos for the table. There's 4 of us. We're getting 2 quesos. It is the spot to go. We go at least once a week, and
Okay.
I am yet to get tired of it. And they make a mean margarita.
Just let me know. I'm just waiting for an invite. I'm in.
Oh, dude, let's go this week. I'll see you there.
Okay.
I'll see you there. It's going to be electric. I will be in there at some point this week.
Okay. Let's do it.
I'm about myself. I'm in. I am shocked that you didn't say somewhere in the old city. That's where my money was at.
I do enjoy the occasional wagon wheel trip.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just discovered actually on our alumni weekend, Garrett Crochet, I guess, is a cigar guy now, and he took us to Alchemy, which
it rocks.
Place is great.
So nice. Good drinks.
Yeah, good drinks, good cigars, good vibes. And it's and that place rocks. But other than that, yeah, I mean, Old City is a good place to go, but I think Chivo tops every, and then Stock and Barrel is a very close, like 1A, and they're owned by the same person. So it's, I think those 2 places you can literally never go wrong. Anybody that asks me where to go in Knoxville, I always tell them Chivo, and if Chivo has a wait, which they usually do, then go to Stock and Barrel. We tried to go to Chivo last week, and there was a 2-hour wait.
Jeez. Have you ever sat at the community table at Stock and Barrel?
Oh yeah, that one on the left.
Yeah, that's an experience. Just eating with random people.
Eating with randoms.
Yeah.
Eating with randoms. But
the food's that good though. You'll do it.
Like every time. If like the place is the 2-hour wait, I will get my food to go, and I will eat it at that.
Oh yeah.
And
that makes sense.
Yeah, but no, Chivo for sure is up there, number 1. And I think everybody like that is close to me would say that as well. Like Cortland, Trey, everybody's. It's definitely Chivo.
Who's fronting the bill? I mean, you would think like Crochet, like if y'all go to Alchemy, he's got to front that bill, right?
Yeah, he did front that at Alchemy, and I don't even think that he noticed. But no, it's and it's really cool to have guys like that too. Like I feel like a couple years ago, you couldn't really say that of just the amount of people that we have playing in the big leagues, man. Like alumni weekend, you really understand how many dudes we've had, like Tony Vitello products that play in the big leagues right now. Like you need 2 hands to do it, and he's only been here for 7 years, 8 years, and had 6 whole recruiting classes that are all his. It's extremely special, and so it's stuff like that. Like it's the first time that we did it this year. We had a golf tournament, alumni golf tournament, and you're looking around and you're like, a big leaguer. And everybody, it's just like, dude, these guys, I was just playing with this guy like 2 years ago. Ben Joyce, straight to the big leagues. Seth Halverson, dude, right to the big leagues. It's super special, man. It's really cool to just look around and appreciate it. What's been built here by number 22.
It's probably pretty cool from your perspective too, especially now that you train with these guys and you talk. I mean, you've talked and you've called your shot with some guys too. I'm sure you can see it. Like that guy's gonna be there, but it's also got to be cool to go. They're not ready yet, even if I'm sure there's an occasional. I didn't know he was gonna be that good, but even if it, you get to see him go from that freshman. They may not be even close to strong enough yet or mentally tough enough, and to see him build's got to be a pretty cool experience as well.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll say this because I've said this to his face, and he knows that I love him. But Will Mabry was that guy for me. And like he showed up and it's just super skinny, like, not throwing super hard. Could always throw strikes and always, wanted to be, it was always trying to learn. And I think it all really paid off for him because that kid had an incredible junior year, is having an incredible professional career too. And I really think that kid's going to play in the big leagues. And, it's just one of those guys where like you kind of just watch him grow up. And it's just so cool to see. And the people that you're around every day, man, it's just super special. It's, again, like going back to the first thing you asked me, it's like, it's one of the reasons that this place will always be special to me.
I think Richard Jackson had a funny story with us one time about Crochet, and he was just like, his first time they're throwing a bullpen like right next to each other, he's like, "Oh, I'm better than this guy." And then now look at Garrett Crochet.
Dude, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it. Like, I think Coach V has like 4 total tweets on his Twitter account, and one of them is a video of Crochet throwing like 87 as a freshman, and the guy's throwing 99 miles an hour right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And I mean, the dude's an animal. Like we played, one of the stories that I was telling you about before. We were playing Fresno State my freshman year in 2019, or it might have been 2020, but I think it was 2019. And this is the first time that I've really ever seen Crochet like on the field, just because I like obviously played the fall with him, but like seeing him against another team, we were getting like poured on in, I mean, maybe the 8th inning, and it's just downpouring, and we're up probably like 12-3, and it's just like, dude, this ball is soaked, and it's just like walk, base hit, whatever, and then eventually like we couldn't play, and they had the bases loaded with 1 out, and we had to call the game, and they were pissed because they were obviously like they were definitely rolling. Like it was one of those things where like, dude, they might tie this game up. And so we had to roll the game to the next day, and they left the field, and they were like spinning on the field. They were, kicking stuff, walking out, whatever. And Croce sitting in the dugout just like watching them. And the next day, Croce texted V and told him that he wanted to start because we had Redmond on the mound to finish that one day. And then they saw Crochet the next day. And he struck out the first kid and then struck out the next kid and then stares at their dugout and rips his jersey open with no undershirt, just like walking off, staring at him. And I was like, dude, that's a dog. I still have the video. I'll send it to you after this. I still have the video, and it is so funny.
That's awesome.
I can't believe that video hasn't gotten traction. I guess there's just been so many over the years.
I legitimately traction. I think it's on his Instagram. I could be wrong, but it might be on his Instagram. If not, I have it. I'll send it to you. It was incredible. I was like, is this what college baseball's like? I was like,
kind of love it.
God, yeah, this is awesome.
Can I get another COVID year, please?
Yeah, right. I mean, hopefully that guy gets traded this offseason to a contender, and that guy gets thrown in the playoffs. But he's as good of a guy as it gets, man. As humble as it gets. He's got a great head on his shoulders, obviously a great family too. So he's got a lot to look forward to, and he's definitely got a lot to look forward to with arbitration this year because he's going to get paid.
He would look really good in pinstripes in New York. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah. You guys need to worry about signing Juan Soto.
Yeah, we do. We have a lot that we need to work on.
Yeah. Let's win more than one game in the World Series.
Yeah.
I do like the if you just saw that clip, you would think the Yankees didn't have a great year at all.
Yeah, right.
Like the way Landon said it, he's like, we have a lot we need to work on.
Well, here's the thing. You built that team to win the World Series, and you, like Connor said, you won one game. It was disappointing.
Sure.
And your best player just did not show up in
the But going into Tennessee football, like that same idea, like the not winning the championship that made the season disappointing. It just makes that moment disappointing.
Well, I was also letting Connor, I know they're division rivals, so I was just kind of letting him just in on the phone.
You guys won the division this year, so it's
yeah. Landon's like, we suck, and
just won the hardest division.
Yeah. You were talking about recruiting a second ago, and this is kind of no offense to the guys like you came in with, like that was a huge turning point in the program. But now you see the guys coming in, and you're like, oh yeah, big leaguer. Like it's just a different pool that Tennessee's recruiting right now, and it's not like Tony like sold this vision to you guys. And now you're kind of seeing it come true. And now it's like, there's no more vision. Like it's here. You come here, develop, win championships, go to the next level. Like that is what you do. What kind of have you seen like from like a recruiting pitch? You kind of been in the weeds a little bit with the baseball program of just how like recruiting has changed a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, recruiting is obviously different nowadays with NIL. It's obviously different. And I think Tennessee leads the way there, to be honest with you. Just from what the resources that we have, the fan base that we have, the donors that we have. I think we absolutely are up there with the A&Ms, with the Texas, with the LSUs when it comes to the NIL. And I don't think that's what makes us good at recruiting. I think what makes us good at recruiting is that Coach V is exactly who you think he is. He's extremely transparent. He is who he is when he's coaching you. When you're here on a visit, he wants people to come to practice. He wants to see how he interacts with players. And I think I saw a tweet, a couple months ago where we had 9 guys here for the Florida game. And I think 5 of them were projected first round picks. And it's like, dude, you couldn't draw that up in 2017 and 2016 if you wanted to. Didn't matter how much NIL money you had. It really didn't. And nowadays we don't even need NIL money to recruit kids. We don't. Like at the end of the day, like the biggest thing, and I say this for myself too, like I can't speak for everybody, but I just wanted to win. And at the end of the day, that's the only recruiting pitch that you need. It's like, hey man, if you want to win, you come here. And we've proven it. We're the only, I believe, I don't quote me on this because I don't know if I'm 100% right, but we might be the only program in the past 4 years that has 50+ wins every year.
That sounds right. We'll roll.
If not, then we're one of very few that have 50+ wins of the past 4 years. And so, like when you think about number 22, when you think about Tony Vitello, dude, that guy's a freaking winner, and that's all he does is win, and that's all we've done is win. Ever since realistically in 2020, I think 2020 is one of the better teams that we've had, and I know exactly what the teams look like, dude. I'm telling you, in 2020, we would have given anybody a run for their money in 2020. And it sucks that the season got canceled, whatever. So anybody can say that, whatever. I think South Carolina was undefeated at that point too. But they hadn't played us yet. We were about to go play them. So, anybody can say that, but then we do it again the next year, and then we do it again the next year. And then, a rebuilding year in 2024. Oh, by the way, we just won a national championship with 50+ wins again. We lost half our team in 2023. We lost Drew Gilbert. We lost Jordan Beck. Oh, let's just go back to Omaha. Yeah. We had the best college team that's ever played the game. I don't care if we went to Omaha or not. That's the best team that's ever touched a college baseball field. From a regular season, like they'd give anybody a run for their money, and then we just rebuild and we just do it again and do it again and then do it again. And that's what you sell. And you don't even really have to sell it because they can see it with social media nowadays. It's like if you look at Tennessee's interactions, it's like, hey, these people understand what's going on, and it's not just baseball. It's winning. Like Rick Barnes is winning, Josh Heupel's winning. Tennessee as a university is winning. And that's what you come to Tennessee because you like to be around winners. And that whole staff is just a bunch of winners. And eventually, schools are going to start coming after guys like Coach Elander, Bonnie, and, even Ross, even Coach Kivett. Now that I'm so glad that we have him back in Orange. But he's a hot commodity, man. He's good at what he does. And at the end of the day, like everybody wants winners. And that's why you see a lot of guys get drafted or guys sign free agent deals because everybody just wants to know what it's like to win that much and how you win that much. And everybody loves winners,
Yeah, I know Ross Kivett's going to clip that and be like,
yeah,
Connor said I'm a hot commodity.
he's gonna send that to his agent and he's going to be like, can you push this out there? Like, I need a pay raise.
First, he's going to send it to me and be like, hey, I told you.
No, we need to keep that guy in Orange as long as we can. As long as.
Agreed. That was incredibly exciting to get him back on campus. We told him we're upset we didn't get to break the news. Felt like that was ours, but I feel like we do have one. We get one breaking news somewhere, and it's our choice now.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
I like
that.
Look out!
Catch that in when it matters.
Yeah. You mentioned over the last 4 years, and I was like, that sounds right. And just looking at the success of teams, I mean, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, LSU were the previous 3 winners. Since 2021, I mean, Mississippi State and Ole Miss were ready to fire their coaches going into that year. So, just looking at and then they haven't been lighting the world on fire since then. LSU's obviously been strong. But, yeah, I mean, when you look at that, the teams that have the best chance of winning 50 games, I should tell you right there, it's probably just Tennessee. And that's, I think, an understated thing you talk about, and we just talked about with the Yankees. 2021 was really hard. 2022 was really hard for a lot of people. You didn't meet expectations. You didn't get to Omaha. The best team didn't make it there. But, I mean, winning's hard. Winning it all is hard. It doesn't necessarily make this season a disappointment. I mean, if you're in a position to win it every year, what more can you ask for? Like, at the end of the day, you give yourself a chance and you hope the right pieces fall in place, because that's kind of how this year felt. Like, the pieces are there, and then it felt like everything went your way. I think highlighted by the Florida State moment, honestly. Like, you need a call to go your way. Like, that's how championships work. How many games have you been in? I'm sure you can probably think of at least like 1 or 2 calls or just bad bounces, especially as a catcher, that it just sucks that we lost that game because of something we couldn't really control.
Yeah, and like I think the fighting that was going on Twitter between us and Florida State fans was pretty unwarranted because, like, yes, man, the call didn't go their way, but
they did also win the game for us.
Yeah, dude, you guys were still up 3 runs when that call was made. I don't know why everybody's like, oh my gosh, that call walked the winning run in. Like,
draw the line.
Like, dude, you got to draw the line somewhere. You got to stop feeling bad for everybody at some point, dude. Like, you guys were up 3 runs. You had to lose that game. I believe there were 2 outs, and that guy still has to make a hit. It's like
he was still pitching to Blake Burt.
Yeah,
he didn't walk. It didn't even walk Blake Burt.
Yeah, and so it's like, dude, I don't know. Yes, it sucks. The call didn't go your way, but you guys had plenty of opportunities. So it's like, hey, a couple years ago, I say a couple, like 8 years ago, that drop fly ball against Arkansas in the national championship. It's like, hey, like, yes, it sucks that you dropped that ball, but like that is not what lost them the game. What lost them the game was the fact that they gave up a game tying homer and then a walk off on the next 2 pitches. Like that's what lost you the game. And so no, that call didn't lose Florida State the game. Dylan Dreiling lost. Dylan Dreiling beat Florida State. Yeah. And Christian Moore and Billy Amick and the guys that got it done in the 9th. But like you said, man, it's one call that can change everything. And you talk about how hard it is to win. You talk about how hard it is to win it all. And that's why, like, every time I come on here, I always finish with, like, make sure you enjoy it, because only one team wins the last game of the year. Mm-hmm. Only one. And so you talk about one call changing that one game. It's like, do I think we win the Natty if that call is different? Probably not. But at the end of the day, that's not what happened.
Sure.
That's not what happened. Like, we ended up winning a Natty. We still had to win 3 more games. And so it's like, hey, it's hard to win it all when you have that much going for you. But like you said, it's hard because one call like that can change everything. And it changed everything for Florida State. It changed everything for us.
Yeah, they were done after that. They should have just backed it up. I mean, there was no recovering from that.
That's a tough one. It's a tough one to come back from, for sure. Yeah. And as Tennessee, like, it's tough because they had to play the day game the next day.
I sympathize with their team, not their fans.
100%. I agree. I agree.
Oh no.
Oh,
you did one thing I want to go back to, because I'm curious. You mentioned all the names showing up in Knoxville this year. What's who? Maybe not even the coolest or most famous. Who's been like the most interesting? That's like you look over and thinking that's weird that they're on the sideline.
Dude, I'll tell you what. I don't think it's weird. But just like being a fan from afar, dude, Jelly Roll being at the game was so sick.
Yeah, that was not the best guy. He seems like he is.
Dude, he is like, I am a massive fan of Jelly Roll, dude. I love that guy. I think everything that he stands for, everything that he does with his music is great. And I love seeing him in Knoxville, because from my understanding, he has no affiliation to the University of Tennessee. And
I think it's just grew up in Tennessee.
Yeah, I don't think he has any affiliation to Tennessee. But dude, I love seeing him at the game, and I think he really just enjoyed it. And that's kind of who we're drawing. I think I compared a lot to like Texas having Matthew McConaughey, come all the time. Yeah. Obviously he's affiliated with Texas, but like we're gonna eventually get like those kind of guys that come to the games just to watch. Yeah. And that's the kind of program that Heupel's building. It's just like, hey, like this is a tier 1 program that we're building right now. And we have a very, very good chance to host a playoff game if we can handle business on Saturday, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Speaking of like this week, and it's a big week, you got to take care of business against Vanderbilt. What is your thoughts on Vanderbilt
as a football program?
Just
in general. Yeah, I'd like to hear in general.
Never been a Vanderbilt fan. I say that with a grain of salt, because I'm very good friends with people that played at Vandy. And I think that they are great people. I think they run their program a lot different than we run ours over here. It has obviously worked for them in the past. They have a lot more national championships than we do. And so, that's good for them. I think we're 9-1 against them in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, like, yes, I think they're doing things over there that a little different than we are. And obviously the past and recent history has not worked out for them. But I think I will always respect Coach Corbin because I think he is one of the best that's done it in college baseball. But as a school one, I mean, it's just I don't know. Never been a Vanderbilt fan.
I do love that you talk about how like different the programs are. Tim Corbin like checks bats. Tony Vitello kisses bats. I think that's the huge difference in the two.
Yes.
How do you feel about the Whistler? Not the dead one. We won't talk ill of his name. The one that's alive and still whistling. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's never been for me. Never been for me. And I know some of their players that say the same thing. So at the end of the day, like it's.
Can we clip that? Is that okay? Vanderbilt fans swear their players love it. So I would like to put that out there.
Yeah.
All right, I won't clip it. If someone else does, I hate that. But
yeah, I know a lot of guys that aren't big fans of it. But
you listen to that for 9 innings. You're never going to be a fan.
Game, dude, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be a fan.
Is there I don't want to. Is there a team that you absolutely, you don't have to name them, I guess, that you hate everything associated with it? And I'm sure you may have friends, but you kind of hate that part of them.
Strictly from just a true rival standpoint and a competition, dude, Arkansas, I've just never been a fan of playing against them. Like I wouldn't say hate is the right word. I enjoy competing against them. But I think they're a lot like us. They really play with the same attitude that we do. They play with the same tenacity that we do, and it's always obviously fun competing against them. Mm-hmm. But I think that they're very similar to us in a lot of ways. And to me, I just never liked it. But I did enjoy playing them, even though we did not beat them a lot. And I do have friends obviously that went there. But
you hate that part of them.
Yeah,
it's like I wish you didn't play at Arkansas.
Yeah, hate it.
This would be so much easier as a friendship if you just didn't play at Arkansas.
And then Florida. I've just never been a Florida guy either. And I think that's just kind of par for the course, you know.
So what did you think about the chomp this weekend in Neyland?
The what?
So after Florida beat Ole Miss, a good portion of our fan base Gator chomped.
Oh, I did not see that.
Good,
but it did help us. So like I'm
but you can't Gator chomp.
But I'm kind of about it. As long as it is what it is. Like I would never do that.
That's how I am. I wouldn't do it.
I'm not doing it. But
it's one thing to Gator chomp, like laughing in their face when we beat them in 2022. I guess that year. That's one thing. I didn't do it because I would never. But that's one thing. I don't want to ever be happy for Florida. I wasn't happy for Florida. I was happy for us, and I'm not going to Gator chomp. It's not a Tennessee thing.
Yeah. Nah, I you'll never catch me doing it. I'll put it that way.
What do you think about the Vols football this year? Season as a whole, is this kind of where you expected them to be?
Yeah. I mean, I think 2 losses was the ceiling. Didn't matter what they were. You know, you could have picked them out. Obviously, I didn't pick the 2 that we have. I didn't pick. And so I thought 2 losses was the ceiling for sure. And obviously, being undefeated would be cool. Being number 1 would be cool. But I think we've put ourselves in a great spot to make the playoff. And at the end of the day, like some dice have rolled our way. We've had a lot of luck, but dude, the SEC has just beat itself up this year.
Yeah,
you know, anybody can beat anybody. It's honestly so fun to watch because every week is like, dude, you don't know. You just don't know. Mm-hmm. Oh, Georgia's playing Georgia Tech this week. Georgia's playing Georgia Tech this weekend. And you're like, oh. Tennessee's playing. Let's be honest, dude. Tennessee's playing Vandy this weekend, and nobody's going to that game. Like, oh, let's go. Like, you know, nobody.
Yeah, not us. We're definitely not going.
Not doing it.
So our road record is shit, so we're definitely not going.
And I think we are going to win the game. I have confidence in our football team that we're going to win the game. But I will never sit here and be like, oh, it's a shoo-in. We're going to win this Vanderbilt game for sure because Alabama did that. Yeah. I guarantee you Alabama did that. And so it's like, dude, any team can beat anybody this year. And that's why it's so much fun. It makes what Tennessee has done even more respectable. Going into Athens, I thought that game was obviously like didn't turn out the way we wanted it to. It was better than the game that we went in there 2 years ago. Yeah. So, you know, Alabama came. I'll tell you what, dude. Alabama came in here, and I wholeheartedly expected to beat Alabama at Neyland Stadium. Yeah. There was never a doubt that we were going to beat Alabama at Neyland Stadium. And I think the fact that that's where our football program is awesome. And I think Josh Heupel's done a great job. Coach Eckler's done a great job. The players have been great too. And I think it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
And we're not getting $12 million to do it.
That's true.
I can't remember what home game it was, but I watched Mike Eckler, Tony Vitello interaction. Might have been the Alabama
It was
game.
Kentucky. It was Kentucky.
Kentucky?
Yeah.
Not the one on video. I saw it right in front of me.
you're
I
talking
think it was Alabama. I mean, they beat the shit out of each other. I mean, that's like how it looked like a normal greeting. So I'm assuming just walking down any hallway, that's how they do it. Who wins that fight? Is it?
I think Coach Eckler's got the reach for sure because Coach V's a little short. And I think Coach Eckler might be crazier than V.
Really?
I watched Coach Eckler headbutt somebody with no helmet on.
That's true.
He also runs like 20 miles before a game.
Dude, yeah. He's just a beast. I love Coach Eckler, man. I love Coach Eckler. Big fan.
He definitely has crazy coach. I don't know. Tony Vitello seems just crazy anywhere, anytime.
He is crazy. I
feels like he's turning it on the football field sometimes.
Yeah. No, he definitely is.
Have you seen any like crazy stories from Tony that you can share? Or?
None from V, because those are gonna stay in the locker room. Any ones that you guys would enjoy are gonna stay in the locker room.
Okay.
But no, man, I think the biggest. I actually had somebody ask me this a couple weeks ago at a tailgate that we were at. We went to the Vol Club tailgate, and there was, a ton of baseball fans there, which is also really cool. Meeting all the baseball fans, and one of them was a huge Chad Dallas fan, and he would always ask me, dude, like, what do you guys talk about? Because there was a picture of Chad and I on the mound for a mound visit, and I'll tell you what, dude, every time I walked out, and Chad will confirm this if you ask him, every time I walked out there, the only thing we would ever talk about was pregame spread and postgame spread. If it didn't matter if the bases were loaded, it didn't matter if there was nobody on. Like, if Coach Anderson was not out there, dude, we were talking about anything except for what was going on in the game. I literally just would go out there and be like, dude, that Cracker Barrel this morning was crazy. And he'd be like, dude, yeah, we're getting post game. And I was like, nah. And that would be the extent of the conversation. I'd be like, all right, dude, let's get back in the dugout here. And he's like, all right. And then we just go back and pitch. And I think a lot of people think it's just so serious, but you just have to know your guy, man. Like Chad Dallas literally slept on our couch. He lived in the house and he slept on our couch. It was he just thought our couch was unbelievably comfortable. And he was like, yeah, man, I'm just going to sleep on the couch.
Oh, he was like an actual roommate. Like he had a bed.
No, like he had a bed in the house. And he was like, nah, man, I'm just going to sleep on the couch. I'm like, okay.
I'm going to be honest. We've talked about this. I sleep on my couch, not every night, but fairly often. Like sleeping on the couch kind of rocks.
Every single night. It was hilarious.
That's crazy.
Guys starting on Fridays in the SEC sleeping on a freaking recliner.
It probably wasn't a nice couch either, right? Or was it?
No, it was. We bought it from. We moved into our house and then we got it from somebody who worked at Tennessee, and they were moving and they were just selling it really cheap, so we bought it from them. It was really nice. It was super nice.
And Chad's like, "That's my bed." Did it? Yeah. Was there like a dent in the whole couch where he slept on it every night? Did he kind of ruin it?
There was a part of the couch that was just darker than the others. It's just like you just like that's Chad's spot. You can tell exactly where he lays. And that was Chad's section of the couch, so nobody else ever sat there. If anybody ever came over to the couch to the house, they knew that too. So nobody's sitting in Chad's spot.
That's hilarious.
I do wish we had known the food story because I would need a mound visit. You don't have to do it in a consequential game, but a mound visit where you're like, hey, we need Zerk out here. We need the operations guy because we got to find out what's post game. Like we need to know what you have coming to the locker room for this one.
Dude, so Drew Gilbert and I. This is funny. We never got to do it, and that's why it's funny. Drew Gilbert and I, while he was still a pitcher, this is his freshman year. Him and I are obviously really close. He's one of my best friends. We had made a decision that the next mound visit that I took in an SEC game or in a game that was on TV, we were just going to go out there and scream at each other. And just make it to a point where Frank would have to come out and take the visit. And then at the end of it, we just dap up and go back to the plate like nothing had happened. And then when we get in the dugout, Frank would be like, dude, what was that? And we'd be like, what are you talking about? And dude, I'm talking about fully screaming at each other. And it would have been so funny if we had done that.
The fallout would have been the best part. Everyone, dude, you all come in post game
over Twitter. It would have been hilarious.
You could have been like, we were joking. It was a fun joke, and everyone would be like, they're covering something up. They won't tell the true story.
Oh yeah, they would be reading into it way too much. But the fact that you would dab each other up and go back, that would be viral. It'd be like dudes rock.
Dude, I'm telling you, like we would talk about it and it would be so funny, man. Like we would die laughing. I wish we would have got to do it. It would have been so funny. But then he stopped pitching and became a first rounder. So
Yeah.
I hate to see it.
Did Tony do the weird stuff? Has he always, I know he's done some creative stuff, but he just felt extra loose in Omaha this year. Has he always been that weird at the mound?
Yeah.
Okay. I just feel like we haven't seen it as much.
I think Coach V talks a lot about finding the balance between being loose and focused. And I think he says that because he tries to do that a lot and just find that for himself. And he does it in his own way, and he doesn't care about what anybody else thinks of him. So I think that's just a matter of him trying to figure out, hey, like he knows that these guys are playing in Omaha. You know, he knows they're nervous. So he's going to go out there and he's going to take a visit and he's going to make sure it's light, keep things light. And that's who he is, man. He knows how to read a room. He knows how to speak. He's so good with his words. And that's why he's a good coach, man. He knows exactly what you need, even though you don't. And that's why we love him.
And he's just him. Like he's just like, that's who he is.
Yeah.
Like he is, even like in a setting where they're doing like a post-game press conference, he still has to like throw in like stuff to kind of like just throw it off of what it's supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just like the best thing about him is like, he is so good with words, but he can also like steer it to like, is he kind of like Mike Leach? He's just talking about nothing, but also like
he's saying a lot, but not really saying much.
Yeah, is this like a metaphor for something? I don't understand.
How often does he drop the pop culture references on you all? Because he doesn't have a Twitter account, but I have a theory that he is very online. Like he's got to be on the internet.
He loves
he always has a pop culture reference.
Yeah, I don't think he's on the internet. I
really
think he's on the phone too much for that. Like, dude, every time I see him, he's on a phone call.
I don't know how he knows about all of this then. I mean, it's crazy the pop culture references he'll make.
Yeah, no, he'll drop them in like team meetings. But when we go out on the field to practice, he's pretty locked in. But when we're in team meetings or when he's like taking a jab at somebody, he'll do something like that. And like, dude, we do the same thing with his post-game press conferences. We read it and we're like, what is this guy talking about right now? We watch him and we're like, dude, what is he trying to say? Like what are we doing here? You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's one of one, man. He's so unique, and nobody's ever gonna figure him out. That's the hardest part, is understanding that like sometimes he might not know what he's talking about, but he'll just like end the conversation and like walk away, and you'll just be like, oh, like is that the all right, and just keep going about your day. You know, like it's just the craziest thing ever, man. But we love him.
I do want to bring up like your season this past year. Making it to AAA, I think that was big for you, and I think hit 297 in 30-something games. So congrats, by the way. I think we talked about it a little bit, but what was that kind of your goal going into the season, and kind of how's the hand doing? I know it's kind of giving you some issues.
Yeah, man, thank you. The goal going into the season was just to stay healthy for a whole year.
Sure.
I think that was just the baseline. It was like, hey, man, no matter how the season goes, if I make it to the end of the year and I don't get hurt, then I think we're in a good spot. And so, thank God, thank the Lord, I was healthy for a whole year, and that's why I got an opportunity to go up there. We actually had a guy on our 40-man get hurt, which is super unfortunate. Like I would never sit and wish somebody gets hurt, but it gave me an opportunity to go up there. Obviously, I played really well, and then struggled a little bit in AA, and just was kind of a victim of the business side of it that people don't really see. You and I kind of talked about it at tailgates, off camera, but it's just one of those things where you just got to understand that, when you go up there, you try to make the most of it. And I feel like that's what I did. And I enjoyed it. It's definitely, it was cool texting my dad and saying, hey man, I'm catching on the 4th of July in AAA as a 24-year-old. That was pretty cool to me, and in Durham. And so it was, there were a lot of moments up there where, I just kind of sat back and appreciated it a little more. And, with some of the stuff going on, it's just, I try to appreciate everywhere I was at this year, and every even the struggles a little bit, just try to appreciate them a little more, and just appreciate your teammates a little bit. But, going up to AAA was definitely on the list of things that I wanted to do this year. And I ended up, making the most of that. I played really well, and I'm super blessed to be able to go up there and meet those guys and be around guys like Jackson Holiday, be around guys like Connor Norby and Kyle Stowers, Kobe Mayo, all those guys, and just kind of see how it is up there, because it's a different game. It's a lot different in college when you're in the same locker room as a 32-year-old. And I'm 24, just kind of new to the game, like really talking to these guys and seeing how their career has gone. How can you take things from them and put it into your career? But it was awesome, and I loved it. And, coming in this next year, hopefully, I get an opportunity to do something like that again and make the most of it. But that's kind of how it is. And the business is business. So at the end of the day, like, you can only control what you can control. So I feel like I did that well, and I stayed healthy. So that was the one goal, and we'll sit back, take a look, and see what we're gonna do next year, and just come up with some more goals. Hopefully, hit those and keep it pushing.
With kind of being like in the minors and everything, is everybody just kind of like on their toes, like, because there could be a trade at like any time.
Yeah,
and you could just be going anywhere.
Yeah, trades before the trade deadline are pretty uncommon to me. Especially in our org, you kind of have an idea. I think if the team is talking about a trade, you kind of hear about it.
Gotcha.
But when the trade deadline rolls around, dude, it's like that is the only time where guys will go out to the field and come back in and you're just glued to the TV, because like it'll break on TV before we find out. And so like we had guys, finding out they're getting traded in the locker room this year. It's mayhem, but it's awesome. Because guys are getting out of an opportunity, out of a situation where they may not get a chance to play in the big leagues, which is not their fault, and it's definitely not the Orioles' fault for being good. Right. And then they go and debut, with another team, and that's so cool for them. I had so many friends debut this year, man. It's just one of those things where like you're happy for a guy, and you're happy that he got an opportunity somewhere else where like he's actually going to play, and you want that for everybody, where they're really going to get an opportunity to play and be everyday big leaguers. And like I said, it's just a business side of it, man. You can't blame the Orioles. You can't blame anybody. But that's just how it goes. And I'm glad a lot of my, good friends got opportunities like that. But I think in terms of just like being traded, I wouldn't say we're on our toes. I think it's more just like, we're just trying to play as well as we can, because we know we're playing for all 30 teams. Yeah. And it's just a matter of like, when a trade is about to happen, you kind of get word travels pretty quick that, hey, we're, or like if a guy gets hurt in the big leagues where, like if Corbin Burns were to get hurt and we need to replace Corbin Burns, that's something where you kind of put the pieces together. Nobody's stupid. It's like, all right, well, they're going to have to make a move and they might make, they're going to have to make a big one. And so you kind of just get an idea. But I wouldn't say we're stuck on our toes. I think it's just one of those things where we're trying to play well so we can get traded.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so, this season, do you have an outlook of what that, I know we're still a ways off from spring training. I'm sure it's not been too hard on the mind, but good idea of kind of how it's going to start. And then obviously you said you're still working to set goals, but
yeah. It's right now it's spring training, and obviously like I'd love to go to big league camp and be around those guys, but not sure what that is or what the numbers look like and anything like that. But as of right now, I'm just looking forward to right now just training, getting ready to play, and so winter meetings are going to be big coming up. And, you'll learn a lot from your agent, going to winter meetings and just being in contact. If you have a good agent, just being in contact with that guy and really just, seeing where you're at and trying to get teams to be honest about what, where you're at in the org, because not a lot of teams want that kind of transparency. It's very gray. It's very gray.
Right.
It's one of those things where like they're going to say a lot without saying much. And that's just how it is, man. You can't fault them, because you do the same thing if you were in that spot. And so the next couple weeks are going to be big in terms of just like where I'm at, kind of how the team sees me, how things look, and then we just roll with that and we go from there. And obviously the Lord's going to guide me, and I'll never be somewhere I'm not supposed to be. And I think as long as I continue to take that mindset into it, then I feel like I'm a lot more content with what's coming and what anything that could happen is, I'm exactly where the Lord wants me to be. And I think at the end of the day, as long as I remember that, I'll be just fine.
Yeah. Is it still pretty cool that you say you have an agent? I feel like we just need one just to say we have an agent.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely different. I think my parents like it more than I do.
But you unironically drop the line, like I'll have my people call your people, or have your people call my people.
Yeah, I'll let my agent do that for you.
Yeah.
I have not had a situation come up where I have to do that, but now that you say that,
I think I'd just try.
I will definitely manufacture a situation that will require that line to be dropped.
Show me the money.
Yeah.
See if you can text it to Tony about something. Like the next chance you get to drop that one on him.
Yeah, I'll have my guy call your guy.
Yeah, definitely do Ross Kivitt. He would love that line.
How's the golf game looking? That's my last question.
Great. Shot an 88 today. Felt good. Could have been better.
Avalon?
No, I'm in Georgia. I'm in Georgia right now.
Oh, that's right.
Played a course called Bridge Mill. Could have been better. Could have been worse for sure. Could have been way worse for sure. Putter was on fire today, which you know what that means. The driver was not. But I like the way my irons are going. Definitely happy with where the golf game is at, and we're just gonna keep getting better. You know, playing with guys like Dickey every day at Avalon it's tough not to get better when you're around guys like that all the time.
Absolutely. My last question is, you got to come to some of the tailgates this year, so appreciate you stopping by and bringing some folks.
Mm-hmm.
What did you think about the spa? What do you think about the tailgate? You can be honest.
Dude, I will tell you what, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you here. That chili is second to none.
Hot chili.
Dude, I will come back. If you text me on a Tuesday and you say it's chili night in the Raby household, I will be there.
Okay.
And I will not think twice about it. You don't even have to invite me. I'm just letting you know that I'm coming.
All right. My mom is going to see this and she is going to be fired up.
I'm telling you, that chili was unbelievable. The vibes at the tailgate are great, dude. You guys have great people there. And at the end of the day, like I think, you know, the guys love coming too. It's just one of those things where we show up, we get to see you guys, we get to hang out with just, you know, normal people all the time. And it's like, hey, let's have a drink and let's just hang out and
watch some football.
Watch some football, dude. And have some good food. Hang out with the real Mr. Raby and and just, you know, talk ball. And I feel like those are the best conversations too when you're off camera, when it's just truly, you know, organic and everything. I think you guys do a great job of incorporating the pod into the tailgate and making it fun. And obviously, you know, we love that you invite us and we'll definitely be there whenever we're hosting a playoff game.
Absolutely.
Love that.
Yep. Speaking into existence.
That's what we're doing.
Oh, yeah.
We hope to maybe do something for baseball. Like that would be fun to do.
Oh, dude, yeah, we'll have to figure something out. We can get that going.
Okay, we'll do that. How's the stadium looking?
Looks great, man. Looks great. They're doing they're putting the framing for the suites in right now. They're putting those seats over in right field. It's definitely coming along. They're doing great. It's I don't know if it'll be done before the year starts, but they are doing great. It's it looks. You can kind of tell it's kind of starting to take shape, dude. It's incredible. It's incredible. It's gonna be a great place to play. It's gonna be a great place to just watch a game. It's gonna be a horrible place for opposing teams to come play. It's gonna be loud, man. It's gonna have a lot of people in it, and I really am looking forward to seeing Vol Nation pack that place out because it's special. It's special.
If the timeline starts getting tight, just tell them, give me a hard hat, bring in the righty. I'll come swing some hammers. Yeah, I'll get it done. There's no problem.
Let me drive the crane.
All right. Well, Connor, we appreciate you hopping on and tell your family we said happy Thanksgiving and enjoy the off season. And we'll see you back in a couple weeks for the home playoff game for sure.
Yep.
100%, man. And I always appreciate you guys having me, man. It's definitely it's an incredible honor to come on here with you guys, and I'm glad that I'm friends with both of you guys. So it's a lot of fun, and I'll talk Tennessee baseball any day of the week. So next time you guys need me on, as long as if you have Ross on, you got to have me back. So
that's true.
Yeah, we'll send you the shirt. It's on the way.
Yeah. Let me know, guys. But I appreciate you having me, and obviously I'll definitely see both of y'all soon.
Yep. Awesome. Appreciate it, man.
Hey, Connor.
See you guys.